everybody, welcome back to another episode of That's Scuffed Up here on episode 52. My name is Justin Lee, that's Stephen Hayden over there. On this day, it is a scorching 100 plus degrees on this really crazy Thursday, and it will be like the rest of the weekend. Stephen Hayden, how are you beating the heat, my man?
You know, the heat is here, but you know what makes it even better is the fact that college football is back, the NFL is back, and it feels like we're getting into fall, even though it doesn't feel like fall. Yeah. And we are in September now, so you know, all those are getting going. We're going to be getting some playoff baseball going along in about a month or so. So we're looking forward to that.
Yes.
And on other notes, I mean, school's starting, which is kind of, I mean, that's not really on a good note, but.
It's a good note if you haven't seen some of your friends, though. You know, that's a good note.
That is true. You know, I'll get to see the baseball team again pretty soon. As a real time, I think we have our first meeting tomorrow. But you know, we're not playing whiffs right now. This is kind of the wind down of the end of the wiffle ball season for Southern California. Still plenty of wiffle ball left to go in other areas of the country, but for California, it's kind of been slowing down here. Which is, I mean, the summer is a busy time for wiffle ball, and we'll talk about it more as we go along here.
That's right. Technically, we were actually supposed to have another tournament with UWIS, but there were some issues with that. If I remember.
With the Upland tournaments,
right? The Upland tournaments, we were supposed to play another one, and then that just never happened. Obviously, unfortunately,
there's scheduling, availability issues. It just didn't work out. So I think some teams actually got a refund for their money back, but
not you.
No, I did.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know about everybody. I mean, I know I did.
Okay, that's good then. There we go.
I know. I got something like $30 back or something like that, I believe. So.
Oh, that works perfectly then. That's good.
Yeah, get some of that registration fee back. I didn't share it with you guys because I paid for the tournaments on my own. But
true. Yeah, you don't need to.
Play.
We're just here to play. We're here to play ball, man. Who cares about the money? We're here to have good vibes and.
All hard.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's already been crazy couple weeks. College football, like you said, it's already come around the corner. Florida State is already a terrible team. Yeah, seriously. My God, that was a really bad Monday game. We've seen some new teams really kind of revamp themselves. Other teams change it around. But this is a wiffle ball show, and we're going to stick to wiffle ball because that's what we do here on That Scuffed Up. We never touched on the previous episode, which was hyping up the last SoCal tournament of the year for the summer series, basically. And the story was that I was on a team with my brothers. Tommy Hernandez was with.
I'm sorry to interrupt for you a second. Let me just interject right here because I did not get to see that intro until the video came out. You guys training on the beach,
dude. We were training.
What was the inspiration for that?
Well, the story was we just decided to go down to the beach, which was just me and my brother Ethan. Actually, it wasn't Chris or Tommy. It was just a free open day we had, so we're just like, you know what, we're gonna go to the beach, have a little bit of good time. Went to what was it? It was near Treasure Island, where they have those fancy houses. So we were just there, and we had the wiffle ball bat. We're like, dude, we should make a funny intro skit to the next podcast. So I kept it a secret. We filmed it. Looks really stupid, but it was funny.
it was unironically funny.
Yeah, it was unironically funny. It was supposed to kind of bite on the fact that you were in Chicago and basically having vacation hours, and then.
Although you said it was cold there, which it was not cold, because summertime and all. But I understand.
That was part of the joke. Yeah, that was part of the joke because Chicago's windy city, Midwest type of thing.
It was probably hotter there than it was in California at the time.
Oh yeah, no. I don't doubt that at all, for sure. Yeah, I'm sure it was a lot hotter over there than it was in California because, dude, it was actually I think when we filmed it, it was overcast where we were, so it was
beautiful.
Probably colder than where you were, but yeah, we filmed it and we're just like, you know what, I'm just gonna put it in here and wait till Steven sees it.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, continue on where you left off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. So
I had to bring that up.
No, you're good. Like I was saying, we had the Legion of Boom emphasis on the Lee in there because that's the team we made up. My brothers and I. It originally was supposed to be with another Lee, but unfortunately he couldn't make it because he had other obligations. So I called on one of our original guys, a big member of the LA Wolves of OC, Tommy Hernandez. Obviously, he doesn't have a Lee in his name, so I just said, you know what, you're Tommy Lee Jones. Take out the Jones, put the Hernandez there, basically. So he was an honorary Lee, so to say, on the day. And your team, on the other hand, was a completely different group of guys. And I don't know. You want to take this bit here since it was technically your team?
Well, I'll kind of go into the tournament a little bit.
Okay.
I was supposed to have the Hoffmans with me, but they were unavailable. I didn't find out until Thursday night, so I scrambled. I looked around, and Justin decided to get Tommy on before he asked me. So that did not work out. He decided to leave me, and we'll talk about that, how that may or may not have paid off later on. I mean, in part because one Lee's not available, Mr. James Lee was not able to go. I decided to turn to some of his other guys he was actually going to play with, and Cannon Rabbits. I decided to ask him. We decided to play on the same team again. We got Nathan Dodero to join along, and for a last minute team, I was like, could do a lot worse, but that's what we had. Had 9 teams out there in total. You also had in that group, you had Dustin Staggs playing along with the Llamas, which that was seen as a pretty good team. I think this was this was back all the way on August 10th, so just under a month ago, depending on when you put this out. And there were 9 teams out there in total. The Beach City Bombers, SoCal Full Legion of Boom. You had the Outlaws out there. Burger Bashers back out again, which we'll talk about them more in detail later on. Yeah, Big Lick, Ballbusters, Spitfires, and then Phoenix-ish was the name of my team because we had 2 Phoenix members and me. So had 9 teams out there, and that's what we had for this final tournament, the August 10th tournament. A little bit different for Dustin and I, as we were. It was August 4th was when we won the MLW Wiffle in the Mitten tournament. So I had to come back and adjust to this style of play with base running and not as fast pitching and all of that. So it was interesting for sure. But for my team personally, we got off to a very good start. Ended up going 3-0. I think we had a bye because there were 9 teams and one team has to play 2 games. So I said, you know what, we're going to take the 2 games. So we're going to take that bye, and I was totally fine with that. We ended up going 3-0. I ended up playing, actually, because of some scheduling issues, we ended up playing you guys in pool play, which was not expected, and I think that was like 9-2 or something along the lines like that.
Yeah, it was
Talk about your team's performance, because our team went 3-0. We were the 1 seed.
Yeah. Well, the idea was to do kind of like a pitch by a committee type of thing, because we have guys on our team who, has pitched in fast pitch and SoCal style stuff before. My brother Chris is kind of just really starting to trickle into wiffle ball a little bit more, so his experience level is a little bit more limited to guys like Tommy and Ethan, if you guys know. For those who haven't met him yet, he's a very interesting character indeed.
The podcast before, I mean.
Yeah, ironically, what ended up happening with Ethan was beyond what I expected for him. And honestly, he should be proud of himself for what happened out there. Obviously, that's probably a little bit later, but he was actually the first guy we sent out in the first game. He actually did pretty good. It was against the Outlaws that we played the first game. He struck out a ton of guys. The only guy who was really hitting for us was Tommy Hernandez, who pretty much hit 4 home runs going all the way through until we got to basically the quarterfinals, so to speak. And the second game decided to do sort of a Tommy / Christopher type of thing where we put him against not the Burger Bashers, you guys.
They put him against us.
It was against you guys, yes. Struggled a little bit with Tommy because he's still trying to figure it out a little bit, which is not nothing wrong with
And
that either.
also the grand slam off of off of Chris. So
Yeah, exactly. Chris, yeah, he came into pitch a little bit. Obviously had some issues too. But those are two guys who are just trying to figure it out. Still, nothing wrong with that.
first innings of the day, you're just figuring it out.
Yeah, and against a team who's expected to be pretty good throughout the day. The third game, we go out there against the Burger Bashers. Unfortunately, did not go out as planned. Decided to throw myself out there because felt pretty confident, could do something different. Was practicing throughout the week on newer pitches and trying to really focus on fine tuning SoCal pitching in some way. Was working for a little bit in the first inning. Got outs pretty easily. Second inning, not so much. And then we get down to pretty much the last batter, bases loaded. They hit a grand slam off of me. Pretty much kind of it. Tied the game. Was pretty much over at that point. So I think if I remember, we went tied 2 times, lost to you guys, and that pretty much put us in the last seed. Because if we had a different result against Burger Bashers, I think if we had like a 7-2 game win or whatever, then it would have been a completely different story. But obviously that didn't happen, and now we're here.
Yeah. So the way it ended up working out for you guys, if I'm not mistaken, you tied twice and you lost once, or is that right, or did you lose twice and tie once?
We tied twice, lost one. The one loss was against you guys.
Gotcha. So this one, you have the top 8 teams make it into the elimination rounds. It's one of those things where had you guys either tied or won your last game, you guys would have been the 7th seed, which would have put you on a completely different side of the bracket. But since you guys, if you won, and would have put you guys won at the 7th seed. Whereas since you guys lost, you guys ended up with the 8th seed. No, you guys tied, so I'm getting confused. I'm confusing myself. Since you guys tied that last game versus Burger Bashers, you guys ended up as the 8th seed, and on the more difficult side of the bracket, which we'll get into a little later. Yeah, a little bit of a frustrating way to kind of see it end, I guess. But no, it is what it is. The ninth team, I believe, was the Ball Busters, who ended up at 9th seed and didn't end up making it to the elimination round. But you guys finished 8th, and then as I mentioned earlier, the Phoenix-ish. I didn't even have a team name. I didn't even make a team name, to be honest, and all that stuff. We ended up as the 1 seed. So yeah, you got my team, you got your team, and you got SoCal Wiffle all on one side of the bracket as the 1, 8, and 5 seeds, which sets up for something very interesting here. Which we have to play again as the 1-8 matchup, which is something I wasn't really expecting, to be quite honest.
No, I was not expecting it either, and it was like, oh, of course, God had to do this to us, or the universe had to put us together once again just to say, hey, you get to play against your freaking teammate once more. I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. Do you want me to talk about? Do you want me to talk about how like the strategy was going into against you guys, or is just do you want to do?
If you want to, this is our second time. It's our second tournament round, which we played each other in the quarterfinals. The previous fast pitch tournament we played we played each other in the quarterfinals and being a 4-0 victory because some guy had a ball off the foul pole. Off the telephone poles for a home run. But yeah, go for it if you want.
Sure. Okay. Well, basically the idea was we wanted to take what we had from the pool play, which is who was our best pitcher pretty much the whole day. And that came down to Ethan. That was pretty much who our consensus came to. He was doing pretty good in that first game, struck out a lot of pretty good hitters who were former teammates of us from the last Fast Pitch tournament. If you don't remember, we played with them. They had some of their guys missing, but for the most part, it was like Larry obviously was there, so we knew that there was good experience on that team. So we said, all right, Ethan, you go out there. Let's see what you can do. Screw it. Let's just, we're like, screw it. Let's just see what he can do, So gets out there, and we didn't think of anything else. And my goodness, Was not expecting the way that it went with
Didn't think of
Ethan.
anything else.
Yeah, didn't think of anything else, and was not expecting it to go the way that it did. Honestly.
Yeah. So we can get into our game a little bit. On my side, we had Cannon start for us, so it's kind of the playoff game I wanted Cannon to start and go 2 innings for. He was so him and Nathan Dodero, they were just coming off the previous day. They were playing in the SoCal series, which you guys will see later on. But Cannon had to pitch a lot, and Nathan Dodero was actually swinging good from the previous day. So actually happened to work out perfectly with them two being hot at the right time, and then with me, I'll always be good at some point, in my mind, to be honest. So we had Cannon pitch, and Cannon pitched good against you guys. Only thing was the Tommy Hernandez solo home run, I believe in the second inning,
Yeah.
which made it 1-0 because Ethan Lee decided to pitch his best for whatever reason. He just wants to try to. He wanted to try. He decided, you know what? I'm just going to actually throw strikes this time.
The like single greatest performance I've ever seen him ever do, like in SoCal and fast pitch combined.
Or just ever for me.
Yeah,
for me.
in general.
Even I mean, it's just been. I mean, it was one of those like he actually struck me out for. I mean, I still got on base like 3 other times, but it's like he actually struck me out for once, which was like. He threw some pitches that moved completely different to what he normally does. I was like, is he doing this on accident, or is this actually happening?
He was practicing throughout the week, and there was something in him. Like I could tell he was like, dude, I think I can do this. I was like, all right, do it.
Yeah, and that he did, because going into the bottom of the third, which I came pitched the top of the third. I think I went 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But I pitched an inning versus you guys in pool play just to make sure we secure the win. But bottom of the third, I believe was it Tommy who went out first, or was it? It was Tommy who went out first because Chris came in later.
Yeah, for that one. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, sorry.
Go for it.
Well, I mean, yeah, the reason why we threw Tommy out there was because he had full confidence in himself in that moment. And he came up to me beforehand and said, because we knew the situation was we had to throw in a guy at the end, because that's how it works in once you get to the later games, like the quarterfinals and beyond, you have to have that second pitcher come in there no matter what. So he said, okay, who's going to be your second guy? Tommy said immediately, I can do it. I talked to him privately. I said, are you 100% sure you can do this? He said, yes, absolutely. He was throwing strikes in that second game, like towards the end. He was doing a little better. I said, all right, that's cool with me. Let's just do it. See how it goes. If anything, Christopher is our third guy. I know he was missing the zone a couple of times, and I said, all right, I'm going to go with my gut here. See how Tommy does. You know what? If we lose, we lose. If we win, we win. Either way, I was just happy with the way that game kind of was competitive. But sorry for interrupting. Please continue.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
I had to get you back for earlier.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Pause.
Oh.
Yes, we at bottom of the third. And Tommy just wasn't able to find it. And that he went as 3 batters, had 3 straight walks to all 3 of us, and then Chris came in, had 2 more walks, and that's how your game ends with the 2-1 victory for us.
Yeah.
I told Nathan Cannon, was like, sometimes you just got to do it in an ugly style. Sometimes you just got to get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how, doesn't matter where. Well, I mean, we all knew where, but sometimes you just got to get the job done. And for us, it would have been. It would have been kind of monumental, to be honest, if you guys had been able to hold on and win that game. But
absolutely,
at the end of the day, I've unfortunately, you just didn't have the that second arm to be able to land the strikes and force us to put the ball in play. Because we might have swung the bat like once in that third inning, to be honest.
Yeah. That's at least what I remember from. Yeah, that was just kind of the defining factors. Like, if you don't have your second pitcher who is throwing consistently, you're not really going to get as far as you really think you want to. And that's what knocked us out.
It is what it is. So we move on after that excitement, going on, looking at some of the other tournament stuff. On our same side of the bracket, we had SoCal Wiffle Ball which was Dustin and the Llamas, along playing against Larry and the Outlaws, all on our side of the bracket. So we had an extremely tough side of the bracket.
Yeah.
SoCal Wiffle does take care of business. At one point, they're up 10-0 on the Outlaws, and I think they threw Mitchell for the third inning, and Outlaws were hitting him, and they had to bring in Dustin at the end, but they ended up winning that one. Yeah, Beach City Bombers and Big Lick, which Big Lick was a little bit of a surprise team out there in terms of how well they did, in my opinion. You had two guys who were actually both part of the Llamas as well, who don't really play for the Llamas, but yeah, Dylan Lack and Brett Ferguson, I believe was the team, and Beach City Bombers, they just barely got over Big Lake with a 1-0 victory in there, and then I think obviously the biggest surprise of this elimination round was the Burger Bashers and versus the Spitfires. Spitfires came in as the 2 seed, I believe. The Spitfires had their 4 from the summer. There's a summer team, which was Brian Owens, who just won the last tournament with us. With Peter Mockabee, you had Gabe, and you had Braden Edenhard, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And Burger Bashers, I think they scored 5 in the first off of walks and some hits, and they ended up taking this victory 7-2 to advance themselves in the 7 seed upset over the 2 seed. So a bit of a surprise there, interesting to see. But nevertheless, we move on to the next round where Beach City Bombers they end up winning in a close game, another 1-0 game versus Burger Bashers. I believe Beach City they scored their run in the fourth inning of that game. I can't remember if it went to extras or not, but they end up winning that one and getting to the final. And meanwhile, on the other side, you had my team versus SoCal Wiffle. A bunch of the top guys in SoCal Wiffle that play in the league, they're going off against each other, and in a very interesting matchup. I believe you had me versus Dustin starting on the mound. I think first inning was scoreless for each of us. In the second inning, I don't know what it is. It's like the second inning I pitch, it seems that Dustin finds a way to get a homer off of me. I think it's a part because maybe outside of you, he's seen me the most. Probably in SoCal, he's probably seen me the most just because of how much, before after a series, I'll just mess around and I'll just throw a little bit and he'll step in the box and see me and stuff. So, plus wind plays whatever factor in it and everything as well. So he gets a grand slam off of me. Then the second, we really exploded in the second. I think Cannon let things off with a home run that was called foul, but I think it was foul by about 6 inches.
That much, yeah.
Well, that's a huge amount, by the way. I'm just saying. And we get bases loaded, 2 outs, full count. Nathan Lodero hits a grand slam to make it a 4-4 game. And then first pitch I get right after that, I had another back-to-back home run off of Dustin to make it a 5-4 game going into the third with Cannon now back on the mound. And then very interesting double play to end the game. I believe it was runners on first and second with 1 out. I get a ground ball to myself. I tag first, and I kind of just take a look to see where Dustin is. I'm because he's starting on second base, and I'm kind of anticipating him running home on any ball put in play. So I said, no, let me just throw the ball just in case. I threw it to the net at home, hit the net pretty easily, and then I looked down at Dustin. And he didn't do it on purpose, and I don't think he thought he did at the time. But he ended up going past the commit line, that fair foul line, which he wasn't trying to go. He was trying to hold up because he saw I had the ball and I was coming. And I knew what I was doing. And that's how your game ends. And we end up taking a 5-4 victory in a very tough game. And we had to battle back and fight through and taking that one into the final.
Yeah, it's also extremely ironic what happens next and what team you're playing, because the opposite bracket was definitely completely different than what I think your team had to go through in the bracket against the SoCal guys.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the way it plays out sometimes. If the SoCal Wiffle just hadn't, if they had done a little better in pool play, they would have been on the other side. Things might have been a lot different. Who knows? But that's just the way the world works sometimes. It's the way the cookie crumbles, as I would say. But yeah, so we get to we get to a finals where it's my team versus Beach City Bombers, and Red. I'm starting on the mound for us, and I believe it was Zach Moore starting on the mound for the Beach City Bombers, who had been pitching a lot for them. Both of us had pitched a lot that day. I had pitched already 5 innings going to that day. I think Zach had pitched all their playoff games and stuff. And we ended up jumping on him right away. I held on for a scoreless inning in the first, and then Nathan Dodura was extremely hot that day, and you'll see in this video that eventually comes out where that was coming from. But ends up getting a grand slam off of Zach Moore to put a mercy on the first inning. I come out there, throw another shutout inning in the second, and then I get a solo shot of my own off of Zach in the top of the second, make this 6-0 ball game. And it's like, okay, let's just get the job done. Let's see if we can score any more runs, which we were not able to. I believe they had a nice double play at the end of the second inning. Beach City Bombers did. When we get to the third, I'm like, it's like, Ken, just go do your thing, just go pound some strikes, and because Beach City, they're not as experienced, and we're definitely the more experienced team in this tournament. This is only their second tournament. Well, I guess Jordan's third this year because he won the tournament with us, obviously, but. Mm-hmm. I think Cannon was definitely feeling it on the mound from pitching the previous day, and then pitching that. I think that was his fourth inning of pitching or fifth inning of pitching on the day. And there were some guys that walked in. They ended up getting walking in 3 runs before. I think Jordan was the only person that got out that inning, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was. He was the only guy.
Ken just really wanted to face a lefty, I guess, but we ended up holding on for a 6-3 victory, and I ended up taking home my fourth SoCal tournament win of the summer.
Woo!
4 out of 4. I mean, it also kept Dustin out of the finals for the first time in like forever.
Seriously, okay. If you're somebody who's watching this video, start training now so you can beat this guy, because this guy already has enough awards on his shelf.
I just need some cash so I can go home with. All right.
Pay for gas. Yeah, I know. It is good gas money. Yeah. Yeah. You could also say there was a controversial call in that one too. Steven knows what I'm talking about.
In which one?
The finals when I was commentating it.
It
didn't really matter after it, but it was so funny just seeing your guys' faces. I will say I was actually kind of tired at that moment, just like Dustin after that entire thing. So it's like, I was like, just please, actually get out so I don't have this pinned on me, which is what actually happened. So I was like, yay.
Yeah, well, I didn't know you were going to be commentating that one at first. I thought it was Dustin. Then all of a sudden you got up to the camera. I was like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah, so what happened I think Dustin was just really out of it after that that last game in the semifinals, because I think he was definitely feeling it. So
it was hot, and also he's been dealing with some bicep issues as well.
Oh yeah.
So he was kind of trying to pitch through that as well, and it's never easy.
Yeah, that's true. So he just he came up to me and he said, "Do you want to commentate it?" I said, okay, sure. He's like, yeah, I'm not feeling it right now. I was like, all right, cool. I'll just do it. Cool. So that's kind of how it worked out. So I guess that's the second SoCal game I've technically commentated, which you guys will see the other one coming up pretty soon, I think, right?
Well, it depends on when this video goes out. You might be. I mean, it could already be out if you wait a few days on this podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll just see where that ends up then, for my audience people who are watching this right now. But yes.
We will see. Yeah, overall, good tournament. Overall, a fun one. Appreciate the teams all coming out. As I did mention, I did manage to win all 4 SoCal tournaments this year with 4 different groups of people as well, which is kind of interesting. The only person who was a repeat player with me was Cannon. He played me in the very first one and the last one, which that was kind of I need someone to play with. I just reach out to him on Thursday nights.
I mean, he's a good player. He's a good, reliable player.
It's a nice option to have.
Yeah, with that type of pitching style, because he's a lefty versus your righty arm throwing, it's a combo.
Yeah, it's like I've done this before. Oh wait, I did an OC before with Jordan.
Yeah, with Jordan. Even in SoCal with Jordan too, technically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hardly even pitched that day.
Yeah, no, he pretty much did the whole time. Yes, sir.
Brian.
Yeah, well, that's pretty. That was pretty much the last one. That is it. The last one for now until later on until we get the Winter Classic again, which is actually different. A little
Yes,
different.
yes. So this is your little bit of your SoCal football promo for the Winter Classic. It was put up on the Instagram recently. I would know because I put it up there on the Instagram. Yeah, but yeah. So Winter Classic is going to be taking place on January 4th and 5th. You're going to have two different styles of tournaments going on at the same time. You're going to be having one that's a fast pitch tournament, pretty much UF style, with no base running, a little bit skinnier field, maybe smaller field in terms of fence. I'm not 100% sure, but there'll be no base running for that. And then you'll have your regular. You have another tournament running going on at the same time, which will be the SoCal rules, just like a regular SoCal tournament, things like that. So, you can sign up for either one of them. I'm pretty sure you can't do both. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much impossible with the scheduling and all that, and how long games last and things like that. But I mean, we're trying to get it out early, trying to see what kind of crowd we can get for both these tournaments. Even might even hopefully we'll be able to see a lot of out of state guys. That's the hope for this. We're trying to make this one a big one, and there are cash prizes at the end for all the winners and stuff as well, and the second place teams as well. So if you're interested, go sign up, get your team together. I mean, we're still 5 months away, so
Yeah, don't have to be that fast. Yeah.
yeah. Actually, well, in terms of the day we're recording this, we're exactly 4 months away. Because we're recording this
Oh
currently
yeah,
on
that's right.
September 5th,
Yeah.
and the tournament's taking place on January 4th and 5th, which we'll talk about another tournament that's happening on the 5th. But yeah, this is your SoCal football promo for that. So be sure to sign up when you get your team ready and all that.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know if you wanted to mention it because you have it here, anyways. I mean, obviously one of the big ones because obviously this is when fast pitch is pretty much kind of dying down a little bit right now, but there are still some of those other tournaments that are happening pretty soon. We talked about the UFs that's going to happen in October. I think you guys are going to do a tournament up in Arizona, if I remember.
Yeah. You have the so BLW. They're doing a whole like series of tournaments this year that's leading up to finish in AT&T Stadium, I believe, in Texas.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I don't think we're I don't I mean for us I don't think we're going to be able to commit to all of that. I think for us we're going to look for this first one, which is the BLW. Uh, they're the first tournament, the first Arizona tournament at Goodyear Stadium, just like SoCal football has done the past 2 years, and we're going to go on that. That's going to be 2 weeks after UIFs. So we got UIFs first, and then you got your SoCal Football Winter Classic. It's the first weekend of the 2025 year. So hopefully that time works out so people can come back and all that stuff.
Absolutely, would be cool to see. There's a potential I might be going out there, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Got to make sure that I get some things straight away, and then we'll see what happens with
Well,
that.
you going to bring up the Lee squad again, or?
Oh no, I didn't mean play. I heard something about maybe filming or something like that, but
Yeah,
who
you
knows?
got to figure that out. Well, I mean, we're also asking about filming for US, but unfortunately, you're not able to go to
Because
that.
I'm going to the Packers game. Packers game versus the Rams.
Boring.
He's just jealous.
Oh,
Dude, but go pack
nobody
go,
cares.
go
It's
pack
the
go.
Packers. Who do they play this first week? Who are they going to lose? Oh, they're going to lose
The
to the Eagles.
Eagles tomorrow.
Perfect.
The Eagles
Yeah.
are in Brazil, baby.
Yeah, if this podcast goes out after the episode, please put up the score of the Packers Eagles game because I want to make sure you get clowned for it, or else I'll look like a clown because the Packers won. But
Okay.
I'm about 95% sure that's not going to happen. So
I'm shaking
all right,
on it. Yeah, there we go. All right, we'll see what happens, I guess. Also,
95% sure.
yeah, true. Yeah. We can. You wanted to talk about it a little bit too, like before the recording of it. Maybe introduce a little bit of the UIFs guys that you're bringing out in basically less than 1 month, or to the day 1 month, to October 5th, that weekend that you guys are going up to York, Pennsylvania. The roster's been set.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle in terms of seeing who's in and who's out, and some guys switching in, some guys switching out, and all of that. But we finally got it set. We finally got our five figured out. I mean, Dustin and I were pretty much always going to be a lock for this stuff, unless there's a situation where one of us can't go to it. Then that's totally different. But I mean, pretty much if we have a team, we're going to be on it. And from the beginning, so Dustin talked to Logan about being on the team. Logan's been on it for a while. That's kind of the three we've had committed for sure. And it's been used a little different for the other two parts, for the other two people to fill in. It's been a mixture of other people. At one point, we had Ethan Johnson, who went with us last year, but then due to him moving away for school, he's not able to go. And we've talked with Cannon for a bit, but then he's unable to go. Talking with a bunch of different people.
Shit.
Because the whole actually the biggest one was we were supposed to have Jackson Pearson going with us, but
Oh.
After we signed up, he ended up switching over to another team. So that was kind of where the main scramble was trying to figure all that out. But at the end of the day, Sawyer announced it on the MLW, the Pipe It Up podcast as well, which we love over here. I've been listening for the past 2.5, 3 years, pretty much at this point, since I started working at Amazon in 2021. And for a long time, Sawyer was going to be getting surgery. It would have pretty much happened already at this point. It was supposed to happen after the Vermont series, after the what's the name of it? The Field of Dreams, the Yankees series and all that, where they go out and play in Vermont for one of the MLW series. He was supposed to get surgery after that. And so we kind of assumed that he just wasn't going to be able to. Well, he told us he wasn't going to be able to throw for a while because he's got a torn labrum, is what he's got, and he's been battling through it for this MLW season. And actually, just saw a video of him recently pitching, throwing 90 miles an hour in the Kalamazoo League with a torn labrum, which is like, my goodness, what are we doing? Dude's just ripped in an animal, I guess, but he decided to delay the surgery. He's getting a certain type of shot. I can't remember the name, but it's like certain type of shot, and so he's not having the surgery, and he's going to see how that does for his shoulder. Because I felt his shoulder, you could feel it cracking. Yeah, you can. He moves around his shoulder. You can feel the cracks going on around here.
That's gross, dude.
But he's going to come out. He's going to play with us, and then his Gators teammate Jeremy Adams is also going to play with us. Jeremy Adams has done very well actually out at Pennsylvania in the U17 tournament. Last year, him and his Flamingos were the U17 champions. I think it was the year before they were the runner-ups, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know for sure last year they won the U17 tournament. A little bit controversial how they won it, but it was actually off. It was actually they won it against BOW, and the guy pitching who gave up the home run was actually one of SoCal Wolfball's own Jackson Blum. Some controversy on how that home run happened and all of that, but that's the five we got. We got Dustin, we got myself, we got Logan, we got Sawyer, and we got Jeremy to be able to run into this UWIFs thing. And Jeremy will still be playing with the Flamingos in Pennsylvania for the U17 tournaments, but
wow.
He's going to also play with us. I think he's pretty much going to pitch early for us, and then if there's any conflict between the Flamingos and us, I think he's going to end up playing with us in the main tournament. So,
I mean, that's crazy that he's going to be doing double duty, I guess. That's pretty nutsy and ballsy,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah. I think it's a pretty stacked lineup when you look at it. Logan Christie is a good one. Obviously, sort of being everyone pretty much knows who that guy is. Jeremy Adams, you talked about his accolades and everything like that. I think this might be a pretty good. This is a pretty good roster. Yeah.
I think this is going to be a sneaky good roster in my opinion. You know, it just depends on what kind of guys we have hitting and playing well and stuff like that. See how guys' arms are doing. I mean, we'll see how long Sawyer can last. Sawyer's pretty much he's got like one game at 100%. Dustin's probably got one game at 100%, so we'll see how he does. It might be, and Logan's not really a fast pitch pitcher, so it's probably going to be a lot on Jeremy for pool play and stuff, and then me for the later rounds of the tournament to see how we do. Because we talked about it last time, the last fast pitch tournament. I mean, I proved I can handle and stay in there with the best of them, at least that day. So We'll see what happens. We're looking to hopefully do some good things. We're looking to improve. Hopefully, get an easier draw than we did last year. But regardless, we're looking to improve on what we did for last year and just see how far we can go.
Absolutely, and that would probably be the goal for sure. And I also just the fact that I mean, you guys aren't as under the radar as maybe in the past because obviously now you guys have the Wiffle and the Mitten win under your guys' belt. So most people
Yeah.
probably know who you pretty much are coming out there, and they kind of know what talent they might be facing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we had our Wiffle and the Mitten win. I mean, Dustin and Sawyer and Logan and others they played out there at MAW earlier in April. So a lot of guys know who they are. I think I'm still a little bit of an unknown in terms of a lot of those guys out there. I'm not. I don't talk. I mean, I don't talk with them as much as say a Dustin would. I still talk a little bit and stuff with them, and I'm sure some of them who know probably know who I am, but. I think I can be a little bit of a. I think I can go a little bit under the radar and not have as much expectations on me or as much eyes on me or as yeah. So we'll just see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. If we're clicking on all cylinders, and I think we got a real good shot to go pretty far.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens in about a month. I think we'll probably have a follow or a preview beforehand before that entire thing happens. Maybe we'll get
Yeah.
somebody to talk to about that preview. Should be good, and then just see how everyone's kind of feeling, and then yeah, send you guys off to your way to York, Pennsylvania. So yes, sir. That's kind of the glimpse that we have coming up in the off season of all the major tournaments so far, because that's pretty much where it starts to wrap up is when you get closer to that York, Pennsylvania tournament.
Yeah, for a lot of people, that's kind of the end of their season. Uh, Actually, speaking of the season starting up, we kind of just did start up, and even though a lot of people are winding down, we got the OCU football season starting up here.
Yes,
What a transition! Oh my good! Oh yeah,
that one felt really good, huh?
that one worked out well for me. But
Nice.
yeah, I mean, we had OCU football finally start up after a couple months break, which thank goodness we had a break because I just needed a break especially after this last tournament.
Hmm.
I needed a break. We've started up again. We got a couple new looks on our team, and so far we're a couple weeks in.
Yeah, new look team.
Only one
Kind
team
of.
as well.
Yeah, one team two. No longer the OC Wolves of LA are with us any longer. Rest in peace for now, until we get more people in the future. Um, but we got a few returners, man. We got a few returners and one unsuspecting member of our team who has decided to come out of retirement.
That he has. I mean, there are some rumors about him and some other guys starting the team. That ended up not working. So I talked to Mr. Shaden Hendrickson, um, who was going to be part of that. And I said, hey, if it doesn't work out and any of you guys still want to play, just come play with my team.
Yeah.
Because I still need at least another guy or two because we got myself, we got you got your brother Ethan, we got Donna Caroni coming back after a season break. I was like, you know what, I need at least one or two more. I'd say realistically, I'd love to have two guys to come play. End up getting Shaden to come play. And it was actually funny because last week was week 3. It was week 2 for us, but it was week 3 for everybody.
Hmm.
And Dylan Hoffman texted me in the middle of the hey, when does OC football start for this season? I was like, yeah, we're in week 3, so sorry to put you on blast there, Dylan, but
Yeah.
I doubt you're listening to this anyways. You got more important things to do with your life.
He's
So
got a baseball team to run.
yeah, I got my baseball team to run.
Yeah.
Yes,
Um,
yes, yes. We got that crew out there. We're figuring out. We're getting back into it.
mhm.
I mean, we can highlight a little bit. We got Mister Justin Lee is hitting 556. Who would have thought? 556 with a 636 on base percentage to start off the year. 4 home runs for himself. What a start for you, man.
I'm actually pretty happy about it. I knew coming into the season I'm gonna have to pick it up a little bit with the hitting because I know Shaden hasn't really done a lot of OC football in the recent, and then
Year.
we lose one of our in the recent year we lost one of our biggest bats on the team, which was Tommy Hernandez. So I was like, you know what, I've got to start figuring out how to step up, how to take swings, how to take pitches, and you know what. not try to hit the crap out of the ball, but really just trying to get more hits in general. So that was kind of the idea going in. So I wanted to not only compete with you, but at least try to be a big part of the team this year. So who knows? I don't know what'll happen later in the season, but so far off to a good start, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, maybe we can work on that 70 ERA at some point, but
Yeah, that's another thing.
that'll just put more innings under the belt. We're just kind of, unfortunately, we do have a team ERA of 13.26,
Hmm.
and that includes, and that's put in the calculation with my 1.70 ERA so far in the year. So, yes, so far we're getting back into the swing of things. I think once we either get Shaden going or you going, or actually Ethan Lee pitched all right in his most recent outing versus Blue Shell.
Hmm.
Once we get one of those second arms going to go along with me, who knows what we got? But
True.
uh, I mean, I'm also hitting 667 on the year to start with a 771 OBP. So I'm still here. I will be here. Uh, so yeah,
I actually
I think
think this sheet is kind of off a little bit because I remember hitting a triple in week 3 and it's not listed here, so I don't know if this is just actually just the week 2 stats or if this is the complete week 3 stuff. But I don't know. That's just my observation right now.
maybe you just need to get better.
Oh, okay. Maybe I need to fix my glasses. That's fine.
Uh,
um,
I
yeah.
don't know.
I mean, how does it feel to have Shaden back, though? That's a guy who won Silver Slugger many years. That's a guy who's won Hank Aaron. Obviously, we talked about him a lot when he was a big home run derby champ. Must be pretty cool to have somebody who is formerly one of the better players in this league.
It's good to have him back. He's been in the SoCal Football League now for he's in his first year there. They haven't got off to the best start as the Apes. They're so far sitting at 0-4. But
Oof.
you know what? I feel like once he gets back used to this style, because before this going from scuff ball back to a cleaner ball with no scuff at all is not an easy. It's not an easy process to go back and forth in between.
No.
Uh, which I know because I've done plenty of times. I've gone in between those two, and also cut balls as well. The difference is quite noticeable. But I think once he gets back into it, I think he'll start getting the hang of it. I think he's gonna show what he's got again. I think he's just getting back into it right now, getting back into playing football really.
Well, heck yeah. And then also to have Dominic Caroni back. I mean, obviously his start hasn't been really kick off to a crazy start, but must be nice to have a guy who obviously we know because we went to the same high school together, but also there was a clutch factor to him when he was still here or when he was here, and now that he's back, maybe he could bring that magic once again.
Yeah, maybe we can find that video. Especially that first season he played. He ended up getting some clutch moments for us when we needed it. I remember. I remember actually it was funny because it was against Shaden. I remember he had a solo home run in the first inning of game. We were down 1-0 in the series. We were playing against at that point, which was the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. We were the 4 seed going into that, and I remember he had a solo home run to start off in the top of the first inning, which really got us going. We ended up winning that game 4-0 for us. So that really got a jump start to our night because I was getting a little frustrated at that point because I had 2 home runs that were robbed in spectacular fashion.
Yeah,
Uh,
I remember that.
so we just needed something to go, and go it did. And Dominic was going. Hopefully to get some of that back. So far, I mean, I'm not going to say the numbers he has right now because I don't want to do that to him. But he's going to get it back. I mean, he literally hasn't touched a wiffle ball bat since the Spring World 2024 World Series. So
Yeah.
he's getting back into it.
Yeah, we'll just give him a little bit of time. Like I'm sure it'll like kind of kick back in when it does.
Oh yeah,
There's still what 7 to 8 weeks left. Or no, not
of
7 to
course
8
he's
weeks.
got plenty of time.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time. Regardless of whichever way you see it, which is
He's got plenty of time. Ethan's got time. Shaden's got time. You've got time to go down. It's all going to work out in the end.
it will. It will. I hope it does. For the sake of the team, I hope it does because there's still a lot of really stiff competition in this league, and obviously a team like Beach City who has decided to get a guy like Joel Gonzalez on their team is ridiculous and just makes it the
Like,
task a
and they
little
kept
tougher.
Jordan on their team instead of him coming over to us.
Yeah, yeah. it makes the task even tougher. But hey, I think we're up to it, right?
We shall see what happens, but we're getting back into it.
Yes, sir. The other part, I guess, if we wanted to talk about it, because the last time we talked about SoCal wiffle ball was all the way up until Llamas versus Dolphins. By now, we have all the wiffle the min videos up. You got the championship up. Now you've got the vlog that's up there. Phoenix versus Apes, Cobras versus Sharks, and then Penguins versus Dolphins so far up to this point. Potentially maybe the other ones, depending on when I upload this, but those are the ones at the time of this recording. So.
Yeah, that is the case. I guess I should ask you, how many of these videos have you seen or not seen?
Basically zero because school is a pain in the butt. But no. I've seen the moments on the SoCal Instagram. So I've seen like the James Lee Grand Slam, that hit in that recent video, and then a couple of other ones. I obviously know that the Apes are on a winless streak right now. If you're keeping up with the timeline of the videos, and then that's pretty much all I know.
So, all right. Yeah, so I'll talk about them a little. I won't go into like too much detail or anything, but I mean, so pretty much since that point, we've had all of our. So we recorded all of our individual games from the MLW Wiffle and the Mitten, and those are all put up onto the channel. You'll see you'll see all 6 of our games, which we did go 6-0 in this tournament. We won our 2 pool play games, then we went 4-0 in the elimination rounds to win the championship, which was nice because we actually got the easier side of the bracket in this one, which we talked about that last time. So
yeah, we did.
All 6 of those videos are put up. You can see how all of us did and all of that. In terms of the SoCal season, we had the Apes Cobra series. They had the Hoffmans versus the Hendricksons, and the new team series in which Dylan Hoffman looked unreal on the mound. I think he only allowed 2 walks and had 8 strikeouts to his name. Second game was a little bit more wacky. A lot of hitting stats going up for everybody, but yeah, Cobra's got the job done for a sweep there. And the next video is the Phoenix Apes, the Phoenix versus the Apes going up against each other, which the Phoenix were able to take that one in a sweep over the Apes, which puts the Apes at 0-4. And the Phoenix, which they needed that after they got their split on opening day versus my team after the Joaquin Jimenez miracle, just an absolute, it's still ridiculous to think about, but
still is even up until this point. Just like the fact they were like even saying the same lines with Joaquin in not walk off, grand slam.
Wasn't just a home run. Go ahead. All of that.
Not even grand. Yeah, just if it was just a home run, it'd be like, oh my gosh, he hit a home run.
Yeah, but Phoenix were able to bounce back and get 2 wins here. Pretty convincing fashion, I'd say. True started to look better on the mound after the first inning, and then the Phoenix, they just jumped on Shaden in the first 2 innings, and that second game ended up being a mercy, I believe. So, and then in between that, you got the Wiffle and the Mitten vlog, which this was an interesting one. You get to see both sides of the journey for how Dustin and I got there, and then you get to see some stuff for when we were there and things like that. You probably saw me losing my mind on the train, which I absolutely was losing my mind on the train. I was supposed to get into I think we talked about it before, but I got delayed nearly 2 hours, which it was just a mess overall. But then you have one that kind of hurt me, which I did not really want to watch or remember. We had the Cobra Shark series. Cobras are off to a 2-0 start, only undefeated team in the league, and then myself, me being the reigning MVP of the league. Except this time we had a completely different group of Sharks around me, which could be a topic, could be a recurring story for the rest of the year. As a little sneak peek, no Joaquin Jimenez this time. Had to have a completely different lineup with me. And we had Nick Rossetti, Walker Randolph, and Jared Tapia was there, even though he's technically retired. He didn't end up playing in this series. And the Cobras, they beat us 2-1. They beat us in the first game 2-1. It was me versus Dylan on the mound. I'm not sure. I still don't know how Drake hit a home run off of me on that pitch. That was very weird. It was not a home run hittable pitch in my opinion. And I just see the ball slide off the bat. I was like, okay, sick. And then there's a call overturned by a single camera frame. It was a play that was called out and that was ruled safe after review by a single camera frame. And then I hit a home run off of Dylan. To we end up losing that one 2-1. I think game two is a little bit frustrating in general. Drake was doing better on the mound than he did in his first series, but it just seemed like we couldn't quite get that breakout inning to get a lot of runs across, and then in the second inning, Nick Rizzetti was good in the first inning, and in the second inning he lost control, ended up walking in 3 runs. Then we had bases loaded. We're down by 1, 2 outs. And Jared Tapia swings and misses on a pitch that doesn't hit the zone for the third out, and that ends the game to lose it for us. So a very frustrating series for me. It kind of puts the Sharks in a tough spot for me personally, as we're 1-3 at this point, and we still got to play the Llamas and the Panthers. This is a series. I went into the video saying this is a series. If we can sweep, that would be huge for us. And then of course we get swept. So just the way it works. So we got our work cut out ahead of us. To try to make it and see how we do. Pretty much one seat's pretty much off the table with a 4-0 and with a 4-0 team in there in the Cobras, but we'll see if there's any chance of us making the playoffs. Luckily, this will be out for next week's video. You'll see how the Llamas and Panthers did, but and then you got the Penguins Dolphins video. It's the most recent one. Which the game, both games were pretty good actually. They were both pretty good in my opinion. You could see me just switch into the commentary role all of a sudden during the second game. I think Destin had to make a phone call, and then at that point it's like we'll just continue on with me here, I guess.
Oh.
yeah. It was like bottom of the first inning. I like switched into the commentary role, into commentating and stuff. So first game. Was tied. Ben Webble versus James Lee, 2 of the top 3 Cy Young finalists, including Ben, who's the back-to-back Cy Young winner in the SoCal League. And then the third inning, just like the first series, the Dolphins had 1 inning versus the Llamas where they just exploded, and then after that they didn't really do much. Well, the same thing kind of happened here, except it was the third inning.
Yeah.
James Lee hit a grand slam off of Ben, and then Tommy went back-to-back. Off of Ben. Next pitch, Tommy hit a home run off of Ben, and then once again, the Dolphins nearly threw it away at the end. I mean, something about the Dolphins' defense that's been a little bit questionable at times. With some communication issues out there, because James had a ground ball to him, which would have ended the game in a 5-0 tie, but he turned to first and nobody was there, and everyone was telling him home, and everyone was just saying different stuff. And Penguins ended up scoring, and they ended up tying running home, stepping up to the plate, but James did bear down to get the job done. And then game 2, you saw Tommy pitch. Tommy came back on the mound. He pitched much better. Still had some walks, but only allowed 1 run. Well, the Dolphins just could not get it going. Ended up losing that one 1-0 for a split there. So that's kind of how the videos have been looking on the SoCal Football page so far, and that's where we're at this point. Next video, depending on when you put this out, will be the Panthers Llamas series, in which they finish off Slate 2, and then we get some interesting stuff with the third slate of games for everybody. So standings are newly updated for everybody after playing in Slate 2. We'll talk about that more next time.
Absolutely. I just wanted to make a note. I never thought I'd hear a mic'd up James Lee ever in a video, which is pretty funny. I need to finish watching that segment, but I will get to that. But yeah, I think we pretty much covered most of the corners today on this episode of 52 on the That Scuffed podcast. Later on, you'll probably see more as we get closer to the U.S. tournament. Just getting that preview, maybe getting a few people on here, potentially. I'm not sure yet. And then, other than that, mostly just OC football stuff from here on out. We've got the Sand Series coming up, which we're not participating in, I believe. Nope. Okay. Confirmed. And then I guess maybe we'll just talk about the playoffs when that gets closer. But other than that, more SoCal stuff on the way. And Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, this, like you said, the season is just kind of starting to ramp down a little bit. Nothing too crazy. We're just kind of flowing with it, which is also good because obviously we're both in school right now, so we have our priorities at the moment.
I think things are winding down in terms of football around here. So we'll talk about stuff when it comes. We'll talk about stuff when it comes around. US is coming around the corner. BLW is coming around. SoCal Winter Classic will come just soon. So I mean, once things happen, we'll keep talking about it more. But for now, this is you get not to hear us. I mean, we've still. I mean, we before we go in every week and stuff. So now we're having longer, more meaningful podcasts, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So you get a little of a slowdown for us as things slow down as the weather. Well, the weather won't cool off because we're in California. It's going to still be nice no matter what time of the year, pretty much. So,
especially right now.
Yeah. Especially right now when it was 100 degrees in September. I mean, it's not quite Vegas or Arizona, but I don't mind that. So I'll take this over Vegas or Arizona right now, where it's. I think it was like 113 in Vegas earlier today.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just stupid, ridiculous.
No, I saw a video of a guy who showed his videos in Texas of his tires getting melted, and you could see all the tracks on the ground, and that just tells you how crazy hot it is in other parts of the country. It's crazy.
Yeah,
so,
it's not fun at all.
Yeah, so we'll take it over being over there for sure. Where it's extra, even on the East Coast, it's extremely humid, and it's just you're not sweating, you're just sticky, pretty much.
Pretty much.
All right, well, I guess that's pretty much it for episode 52. We'll probably see you guys in the next one. Make sure you follow SoCal Wiffle because there's a lot more stuff going on in that league in terms of which, and obviously, if you don't follow the LA Whiffs of OC account too, you can get some cool updates on there as well. And then obviously what we're up to, and then once we get closer, we'll come back together and we'll see you guys all there together with the entire crew and the family. So, for that Scuffed Up Podcast, episode 52. Yeah, my name is Justin Lee. That's Stephen Hayden. We shall see you guys in episode 53. Take care, stay out of the heat, and have a great rest of September.
Great start to the show. This is what you live for, these live moments, dude.
We're trying to do the podcast, man. Come on. hey, make sure you touch home. You didn't touch home.
Already out. You touched
Yep, you're gone. We tugged you out.
Wow.
Little celebration.
Yeah.